blame anybody. But to think about those things that has affected us one way or another and grow together. When questions started coming to mind was when I was in junior high school. In junior high school, I see how others dance, and I was left to wonder in the midst of so many thousands of students, why can't I dance? But then, mo ṣì di orí mú. I am that strong, committed church girl, obeying the rules. Guys, going to school, college, I mean, after secondary school, I graduated and went to college. When I went to college was when I started like seeing the behavior of other people, other church goers, other denominations, because we have been conditioned to think that our denomination is the best and we are the only one going to heaven. They preach to us salvation, sanctification, baptism of the Holy Ghost. And the way they teach it to us, they made us think that that is all we need. I call that a kind of brainwashing because it does not allow you to think for yourself. But questioning for me started when I entered the junior high school. But I wasn't still able to ask those questions as I asked them when I got to high school. When I got to high school, when I got to college and see other people from other denominations, guys, my questions tripled. I can't just stop trying to reconcile. So, are all these people going to the other place? I don't want to call that name here. HF? Are these good people? Because these people are kind. These people are nice. These people are respectful. Are they all going to end there? Okay, why am I not seeing anybody? Why? I think I saw 4 people at the onset. Where are people? Is something here stopping them? Ah, so where are people? I think this is public, right? Yeah. No participants still? Okay, I'll continue. Yeah, I don't want to lose my thoughts. Yeah, I remember telling you that I started questioning when I was in junior high school, but I couldn't ask my question because I was scared. I didn't know what I will hear from the older people in my life. So I kept my questions to myself. Don't forget, after junior high is senior high, and then to college. And all this from junior high to senior high is 6 years. 6 years. When I was entering the junior high was when they changed it from 5 years to 6 years. So I spent 6 long years in a school community where we have several dancing competitions, several um, chapel activities where we sing praises, where we worship and dance. But guess what? I couldn't dance because my church said no to dancing. But here's the twist. This is not the only teaching that made me stop to think. People, I'll mention just three. You can watch the rest in my videos, and I will put them, like I said, in the description of this video. You cannot go to the hospital on any ground. You cannot go to the hospital back then. I mean, from when I was born and I became conscious till when I got married when I was 27 years of age. And in fact, I'll burst your bubbles. You cannot have babies in the hospital. You will have your babies in the house. The midwives will come to your house to take care of your baby. So, guys, seeing the condition of things, how my mom had our last baby, I have questions. And getting to the age that I will be thinking of marriage, I have friends who have gotten married who were having challenges. And I was like, something was bubbling inside of me. Why can't they go to the hospital? Why can't these people go to the hospital? They can't go because they just want to belong to the community or what? Going to college opened the door to many other questions that I had never allowed myself to ask. Going to college gave me more boldness. I think at the time I went to college at the age of between 2021. Yeah, because it was a while for me to, I did WAEC 2 times. And yes, I think it was about 19 to 21, thereabout. So I was beginning to find my own voice, even though I wasn't taught about my rights. I didn't know I have rights. I didn't know I can question. But then I was beginning to make up my mind to ask questions. But guess what, guys? Now that these things are coming to mind and I'm reflecting openly on social media, it's no longer about dancing. It's no longer about dancing. It's no longer about so many of these rules. It's about inherited beliefs. What did you inherit? I inherited all those rules because I was born there and I wasn't allowed to question. It's not about the tradition, not about the culture, not even about authority, not about personal conviction. For me, guys, this discussion isn't really about dancing anymore. Not about dancing anymore. It's about how many beliefs we inherit without ever examining them. What did you inherit? They passed it down to us. Our forefathers are in that denomination. So it's okay. We don't question them. Guys, what was your experience growing up? What was your experience growing up? Do you have rules like this? Don't dance. But I have questions. But David danced. Why can't I? Sorry. Why can't I? David danced. Why can't I dance? What is wrong with dancing? What is wrong with dancing? What is wrong with dancing? If you're enjoying conversations like this, unfortunately, there's no participants. Maybe this is not a good time for me to come out. Maybe this is not something people want to hear. I'm not an entertainer. Guys, I'm not an entertainer. Here I make you think. Thinking is the hardest thing people want to do. But what as our many things we do that we think is normal, what has it benefited the world? Confusing the mind of the youth. If you're enjoying these conversations like this, where we can reflect, respectfully, here we can oh my God. Here we can reflect respectfully without attacking anyone. I hope you will subscribe. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Anybody in the house? I hope you will subscribe Set your notifications for future discussions. I share personal reflections on healing, life, and the beliefs that shape us. Thank you to that person that keeps coming and going out, coming and going out. I see you. Thank you for being a part of this growth. Today, I don't see this issue the same as I used to. David danced. Guys, why can't we dance? When I picked up my Bible when I was in college, I started reading the Bible by myself. I started noting the things the church teaches us and the things the church didn't teach us. Probably because, you know, the church tradition is the church traditions. And every church have their tradition. Every church have their traditions. Every church have their traditions. Like it or not like it, I'm telling you, now I see church as a social community of choice. It is your choice. When I was healing through all this dogma, I have to ask my parents lots of questions. One of such as, why did you stay there? Why did you keep on going there? Do you know you can make up your mind not to be part of some of these things? Somebody telling you not to dance and you stayed there for, my parents were in the church for, they're still there. My mom is still a part of them. My dad died almost going to the church for almost 50 years. Just because of what? Do you know you have a choice? Do you know you have a choice? You don't have to be a part of something that does not serve you, you know? As a child, I was conditioned to believe that dancing was wrong. I went through elementary school, I went through junior high school, I went through high school, I went through college. I do not know how to dance. But at some point, I started feeling like I want to dance. And questions were coming to my mind. And one day, I told you I picked up my Bible while I was in college. When I started reading my Bible for myself, I started noting some things that the church hide. And honestly, like any organization would have their mission, so also is my church. They have their mission, they have their agenda. It is now left for individuals to make the choice to stay and abide by the rules. But come to think of it, why will any right thinking person be a part of something that does not serve them? For all those years, from elementary to high school is a period of 12 years. And in those days in Africa, in Nigeria, before you start school, before you start elementary school until your hand reaches your ears. Even if you are tall, they will send you back home. So many of us were short. We couldn't attend school until we were older. But I was so lucky to start school at a good time. So look at the length of 12 years. Do you know what it did to me? Even though I was defensive, when my friends ask me, Shola, why are you not dancing? I'm Sister Jim Jim, Modiorimu, abiding by the rules. I'll tell them, I can join church, and I felt nothing until I started growing older and I started feeling, low self-esteem, make you feel odd among your peers, among your mates. You'll be feeling odd and nobody will be your friend. You're alone. I was in that for almost 30 years. But between age 18 and 25, girl, my people, I became something uncontrollable. You can't stop me from asking my questions. You may not agree to some of my opinions, and which is okay. We learn from each other. We gain perspectives from each other. But what I found from our religious people is that we don't want to hear any other opinion. We don't want to hear any other person's perspective. I was once like that. I was defending my church. I was defending the doctrine I grew up with. I was defending everything I was taught. But growth has brought me to this point because I question, I challenge, I let my brain think. And I picked up my Bible. Here's my Bible. I picked up my Bible. This is the Bible I came to United States with. This Bible is both English and Yoruba so that I can understand. I'm no longer blindedly following any dogma. I'm no longer blindedly following any teachings. I'm no longer blindedly following any rules. Do you know this Bible was written by fellow human beings like you and I? And every church choose the parts that they resonate with and now enforce it on us members. When I was gaining this perspective, I was like, oh my God. I will read to us. When I read it, I highlight it. This is in 2 Samuel chapter 6. I no longer read the Bible like I used to. But when I'm reading and I have words for us, I bring it out. In 2 Samuel chapter 6, verse 14 to 23. I will not read everything. You can pick up your Bible for yourself and read as I read. I read my Bible twice, from Genesis to Revelation. You can as well read and stop just following the rules. I stopped following the rules and I gained peace of mind. 2 Samuel chapter 6 verse 14 says, "And David danced before the Lord with all his might, and David was girded with a linen ephod." I know the problem with us is that, oh, he did this, he did that. Who? Read it down to verse 23. You will see why you let people be. You don't have to. Whatever anybody wants to do is their choice. Do I have a choice? Do you have a choice? Yes, we do. We do. You have a choice, and I have a choice. Let me tell you, the doctrine of no dancing at a point, sorry, I'm putting down my Bible. At a point in that journey, it was tough. It was tough. Sorry, guys, let me pause this my music. That's my violin music. I have the violin playlist if you want to watch any, listen to any of my music. At a time, it's also it made me have low self-esteem. I was becoming like, you know, I mean, wadawa láàrin gbogbo èèyàn. You couldn't even participate in a lot of school activities because many of the school activities, end of school year activities, involve dancing. Many of the school activities involve dancing. You can't participate because church wa sọ pé, church wa sọ pé, so we can't dance. Guys, I couldn't dance for many years. But my question today, as you have seen in my thumbnail, is I David danced. David danced. And do you know who David is in the sight of God? So who are you? Who am I to question that guy? This journey of life is personal, you know. It is your life. It is my life. And come to think of it, oh, a lot of us want to dance. I was telling my mom the other day, if someone like me, at the time I didn't even see my beauty, I'll be looking at myself and báwo lọmọ ṣe wá ugly báyìí. I'll be telling myself that. But now, I asked my mom, if we had gone to another church, probably quite a few of us, your children, will be modeling. Again, no regret here. No regret here. I am not regretting. I'm just bringing this out to us, to educate us, to make us think, to make us reflect on some of these things we have lived with. Are they still serving us? Or we are just doing it because the generation of there are some generations in that church that even if you are begging them to do something else, they wouldn't do it because their forefathers have been member of that church. Blah, 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 blah. I won't. This is not to attack anybody. This is not to blame anybody, but to make us reflect. My goal isn't to tell anybody what to do. No, my goal is not to tell you what to do with yourself. And my goal is not to tell you that you are wrong. If you like, dance. If you like, don't dance. But I just have question. Why couldn't we dance? If David, who was so loved by God, danced, who are we? I get it. It is the church tradition. It is part of your mission, your goals. When you are setting up the church, you said this and this will not be allowed. The reason, you know it. Because when I stumbled on those rules and why the church forbid it, I was like, really? 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 People can't dance because you think it will be chaotic in the church. Where else do they want them to be chaotic? They have struggled all week, labored all week, and here is church where they can jump up and dance and clap and react. Because a lot of Nigerians, we don't even go to the gym, right? So the church became our avenue to dance. The church became our gym, right? So, like I said, my goal is not to make it seem like you are wrong with the teachings or whatever. But why the rules anyway? Like I said, because you don't want a chaotic church. So come and lobby one. No, no. We can worship, we can raise our hands. They forbid us from singing and raising our hands. You can't sing and raise your hands. You can't sing and move. And some of the songs, you will be feeling it. Dance is in the body. Dancing is in the body, you know. And as I am growing, I realize that dancing is a great exercise for the body. Sometime before I go to sleep, I put on the music and I dance. I shake my body. It's a good exercise. Probably that's why David danced. He exercised his body. He was I grew up thinking when I dance, somebody is going to whoop me. Not me. It's an actual exercise that costs you nothing. But at the end of the day, you sweat, right? So, my goal is simply to encourage us to think. I like to make people think. Let us think about why we believe what we believe. What was your experience growing up? Is anybody watching? You can chat. I'm looking at the chat. Say hi if you are in the house with me. Say hi. Like, heart. Going live is not easy, guys. Doing this is not easy at all. But I just tried it and I will keep trying it. Was dancing encouraged where you grow up? Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the hearts. Was dancing encouraged where you grew up in? Like I said, I've shared in some other videos some rules I grew up with. Like you can't go to the hospital, you can't take medications. In fact, it's so bad that I had to make a choice. I said no. I won't raise my kids like this. I will be honest and truthful to my children. I won't tell my children all these wrong doctrines. To me, it's wrong to teach a child that God is angry when they do certain things. You cannot put on your earrings, you cannot put on wigs because some people who might be going through some religious psychosis think that when they are that frame of mind, they think like wig is from the ocean, is from demon. Let us have the mind to question everything. It is not bad to question everything. In questioning, you gain perspectives. And when we are questioning, let us not be defensive. As parents, let us not be defensive. If you don't understand, my parents had to come to a point where they would not lie to us. If I, as a person, because I love asking my parents questions, I ask them questions. I remember my dad would tell me, Shola, that's a good question, but I don't understand it. That's better, right? Than feeling like we know all the answers. Nobody knows all the answers. But when we try to listen to other perspectives, What are we doing? We are learning. You read something in the Bible, my interpretation of it might be different from your interpretation when you read it. Don't make you superior than I do. That don't make you better than me in practicing your teachings. We need to come out of anything that is not serving us well. And let us not lose the focus of tonight's live. It's about David. David danced. Why couldn't we dance in my church, Apostolic Faith Church? Why couldn't we dance? We are singing many songs that can move our body, but we remain stagnant. We remain like, I don't know. Can anybody give me the right word? Can anybody give me the right word? I don't even know if people can participate in this. I want to hear people talk to me. Mi ò fẹ́ máa gbóhùn ara mi nìkan now. I want to hear people talk to me. Yeah, we will just stand there. We just stand there. We'll be blowing the trumpet. We'll be doing all of these things, but we can't move. Is dancing bad? Is dancing wrong? Is dancing bad? Is dancing wrong? Please, answer me. I'm reading your comments. Please chat with me in the comments. Let me read your comments. Is dancing bad? My conclusion is that dancing is not bad. It's actually a good exercise. Do you agree? It's actually a good exercise, you know? Ẹ má jẹ́ ká dá lágẹ̀rọ̀ ká tó jáde láyé. Ẹ má jẹ́ sọ yín dá lágẹ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi. Ẹ má jẹ́ sọ yín dá lágẹ̀rọ̀. Live your life based on your terms, as long as you are not hurting fellow human beings. Live your life on your own terms, as long as you are not hurting anyone. I remember I was doing my wedding. Hey, oh wow. This came to my mind again. On my wedding day, guys, nobody knew. Even my siblings, I did not share with them what I was going to do on my wedding day. I had my mind set on what I was going to do on my wedding day. I have my mind on what I was going to do on my wedding day. I was going to dance. I was going to do so many things because they did not allow us to have our wedding covered. No cameraman is allowed in our wedding. I choose what I want. I want to cover my wedding. It is my choice. And that is what we did. And I want to dance. I promised myself I'm going to dance on my wedding day. It is my wedding. Nobody gets to choose what I'm going to do on that day. And guess what, guys? As we enter, from the church, we took pictures, we did all of that, and went to the reception. At the reception, we'll be in the reception, we'll be walking. Let me show you. We'll be walking into the reception and be marching into the reception. We'll be walking and going sluggishly, marching like, I don't know, are we white people? I've attended a white wedding here too. I didn't see it as boring as that. Yeah. We walk quietly into the reception and I started dancing, guys. Oni lọ́jọ́ ayọ̀ mi, ọjọ́ ayọ̀ mi, ọjọ́ ayọ̀ mi. Òní lọ́jọ́ ayọ̀ mi, ọjọ́ ayọ̀ mi, ọjọ́ ayọ̀ mi. Òní lẹ́yìn, òní lọ́jọ́ ayọ̀ mi, ọjọ́ ayọ̀ mi, ọjọ́ ayọ̀ mi. And mind you, I was part of the senior choir member. I was part of the orchestra. People run to tell me, Sister Shola, Mama Joe, one mama discipline yín. Sister Shola, Mama Joe, one mama discipline yín. Hey, I said, what? I want that discipline. I want that discipline. Today, I'm going to dance and nobody can stop me. And like David danced, I danced. I was happy. As David danced on my wedding day, I danced. Why couldn't we dance? I see one person that stayed with me all through this. I truly appreciate you staying to the end. And I hope next time will be better. Do you think I should do this 6 p.m.? Will that work better? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I thank you for those that like this video. If you like reflections like this, personal reflections on religion experiences, life experiences, grief, widowhood journey, parenting, social norms, everything life has given me. I'm here to talk about them as they are coming to mind and not to attack anybody. This is not to attack anybody. What I don't want in the world, I don't bring it to my channel. Here is for reflection. We reflect, we talk about those experiences, we smile, and we learn from one another. And then in future, when our children and unborn children stumble on our video, they will see how well we have contributed to the growth of the same church we come out from. Because thinking back about it, I see a lot of ignorance mind. I see a lot of uneducated mind. And the purpose our parents sent us to school is to become better. And we are becoming better in telling our stories, in sharing our stories, so that we can heal from all the dogma, all the teachings. It might be that the way I understand those teachings is what causes me the pain. But as I'm healing through the wrong way I perceive those teachings, may we all heal together. If dancing is forbidden or more other things is forbidden in your own denomination, I love to hear your denomination. I've mentioned my denomination to you, not to shame them. Not to shame them. Actually, there are so many things that is good about that denomination. And then there are so many things that caused me to think and think if God is this, is God is that, which is what pushed me to carry my Bible and read for myself. I've read it, I told you I've read my Bible twice. I've read my Bible by myself twice. And as I am reading it, my interpretation was coming to me. I was noting them. I was writing them down. So in this video today, I've encouraged you, if you are following the rules, check what the rule is. Is it serving you still? Did your church not really care? Is it just about the rules, about those who establish the rules? Are they thinking about you and the effect on you? Àbí èrè kí ló wà nínú ẹ̀ka láǹgbé nílé ayé we are living? People will be giving testimony like their family desert them, their family forsake them just because they want to be a member of a church who does not allow them to have personal choice. You are human. You have rights. I am human. I have rights. If you don't know your rights, actually, I became a human rights consultant just because I want to teach people their rights. I want to let people know they have rights. Another video is coming up about this. Look out for it. Know your rights. It's important to know your rights. Like I told you before, church is a social community to me now. A social community of choice. I am not mandated to take everything they teach line and sinker. Can I go to church if I choose to go? Yes. Can I take all the doctrines? No. I'm not under any obligation to accept anything being dished out to me because I have my brain for a reason to think for myself, to decide if this align with my values. Does this teaching align with my values? If not, if I still want to be a part, I can be a part. I've seen people who are still part of it, but they don't take it like some of us Jim took it because they don't want pastoral position. They don't want any worker to be a worker. They don't want to be a member that cannot move. But for some of us who want to align, who want to be a pastor, who want to be, who want to just dance to the tune, will you rather continue to hurt your unborn generation for not being able to stand up for your values? Thank you so much for being a part of this live. I have my chat on, but I didn't see any chat. I'm open. I'm not going to fight anybody. It is your opinion, and you have right to express them respectfully. On this channel, you have the right to express your opinion, your perspective respectfully. Follow the community rules. Share your opinion. Be free whenever you stumble on my live video. When we learn to listen to other perspectives, we begin to learn, we begin to grow. But when we have a closed mind that I carried for almost 16 years of my life, I carried a closed mind. It is my church doctrine alone. No, in fact, that heaven is meant for only our church members. That heaven, if you are not a member of this church, that was the perspective I grew up with, guys. It is my story. That was the perspective I grew up with. Carrying it like, oh, this, if nobody does it the way we do, we look down on them. If nobody does it the way we do, we don't relate with them. If nobody don't accept it the way we see it, God is going to put them in the hottest part of HF. I have come out of those wrong perspective. Right. Bobo, if I say your name correctly, yes, it's cruel. Actually, when I was healing through the dogma, I was in so much hurt. painful. I was bitter. And then I was in marriage. So my husband will be thinking, what is wrong with my wife? She's always angry. Because when I look back at my younger years, I couldn't flow. I couldn't relate with other people. I couldn't be friends with other people because they told us it is wrong to be friends with people who are not from our church. I couldn't be friends with anybody but only my church members. And even the church members, you pick who you want to talk to. It got to a time that rivalry in the church, the rich, the poor, the rich are only friends to the rich, and the poor are just going together. And being young as I was, Bobo, I was observing. Thank you for the encouragement. Thank you so much for the encouragement. Bobo, if I say it correctly, thank you. I cannot hear you, but I can see your comments. Thank you for the encouragement. I almost gave up on live or continuing this live when I didn't see anybody. I was like, oh, did I pick a wrong time? And I've walked, I'm tired, but I've put my mind on, I'm going live today. I just want to see how this will feel again. Thank you for the encouragement. I'll keep going. And I hope you will join me again. And feel free to share your own story. Was there rules you grew up with? Was dancing discouraged? Dancing is what we are talking about today. Dancing was discouraged. Guys, I felt so ashamed going through 6 years of my junior high school and senior high school without being able to dance and participate in dancing competitions in school. I'll be looking at them doing the dancing competition. I wouldn't know what to do. And I was like, what's wrong with this? I enjoy this. I will watch them do all the dancing and everything. And I feel like I want to be a part of this. But guess what? Freedom started coming when I went to college. I was now bold to ask those questions that I wasn't able to ask before. The questions that were on my mind that I was ashamed to ask, I started asking. Thank you so much, Bobo. You are such an encourager. I wish you subscribe to my channel and continue to support this because sometimes it's discouraging because I'm not a person that likes basketballs. I don't like fight. My channel is not for that. I just come to share my story so that others who are going through the same thing will know that they are not alone and we can heal and teach good things to the oncoming generation. Thank you so much, Bobo. I truly, honestly appreciate you. And in closing, if you have not subscribed today, I encouraging you to please consider subscribing. You can subscribe at your own time. I'm not going to force you to subscribe. And please, if you have subscribed, set your notifications. I usually I'm planning to go live when I'm able because I'm still fragile. Becoming a widow is not an easy journey. And the breadwinner for my children, I have 4 children I cater to, and doing night shift is exhausting. Today I'm tired. My eyes are burning. But I decided I'm going to do this. So today I don't see this dancing issue as I once did. So many of the things that I've reflected upon that has caused me pain, that has caused me to feel low self-esteem. Now, with this widowhood journey, as I'm reflecting back on them, it's just coming with peace. So I also understand that many people have different convictions, but we don't have to continue to argue. What we can do is listen to others' perspective. You have your conviction, I have my conviction. Should we now continue to argue and fight? That is what this channel is about, to bring us together, to make us understand that we can actually listen to each other's perspective without disrespecting anyone, without fighting anyone. All I'm here simply to do is to encourage us to think about why we believe what we believe. Sorry, I write my notes so that I don't forget anything. Thank you once again for sharing, uh, Mr. or Mrs. Gege Bobo. Thank you so much for being a part of this live today. Thanks for subscribing. If you have not subscribed, thanks for considering subscribing. Thank, thank you for liking this video. Share it with anyone that you feel like they might benefit from one or two things that we share tonight. And my goal, as I've been saying it, is reflection, not debate. I do believe it's healthy to think. I do believe it's healthy to think, heal, and grow when we permit ourselves to listen to other perspective, question your belief, question the rules, question the teachings. Thank you so much. Have a good night. I hope to see you next Saturday when I come live. But my video comes out, I publish my videos on Sunday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. It will be published at 6 p. No, 4:30 p.m. 4:30 p.m. every Sunday. 4:30 or 5. I think it's 4:30. 4:30 every Sunday, every Tuesday, every Thursday. And I have shorts scheduled for Fridays about the same time. And I think I'll come live. I'll keep coming live Saturdays when I'm able. And if I'm coming live in the community post, I usually will put the post up for you. But you can only see some of these things if you have your notifications set up. There's a bell notification below this video. Click on it and set it to all. Whenever I drop videos, you will receive it and you will know your girl, your friend, your daughter is live or has published a new video. Again, I want to say a big thank you to all of you that have subscribed, all of you that are here tonight. Thank you for the love. It's so amazing. You made my day because I was tired and weary, maybe to stop, but you encouraged me to go this far. 1 hour, 13 minutes. I cannot believe it. Even though it's 3 likes, I'm grateful for the 3 likes. Even though it's 2 people watching, I am grateful for the 2 people. Please tell others about this channel. We don't fight here. I reflect on my stories. They are my stories. The story of religion, the story of the culture I grew up in. And I touch on parenting, marriage, grief, widowhood, and everything that I've lived through that I'm permitted to share here. Have a good night. See you again later. Be blessed. Have a wonderful week. Thank you, Mr. Gege. Are you Mr. or Mrs.? Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, where are you from, Mrs. Gege Bobo? Where are you from? I am in the US. Where are you from? Where are you watching this from? Oh, thank you so much. I was in Canada 2 years ago. I visited the Niagara Falls. Thank you for being a part of this channel. I hope I see you more. I truly appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Share with anyone. Yeah, and if you want, I have, I think, 4 playlists: reflection, stories. I think I started with, yeah, my stories from church, the community. I have another playlist for culture. That is where I talk mainly about the culture of Nigeria, where I grew up in, and maybe some culture here in the US. I only have 2 cultures, right? I talk about it. And I have another playlist for my violin. You are listening to my violin here. I play the violin. This is some of the good things I learned from the church. And those are the good things I believe church should be doing for us. So I play the violin. I have a playlist for my violin. I have a playlist for my songs. So if you like songs, even though I'm not as religious as I used to, I debated it because I don't want to confuse people on my channel. But when I think about it, I'm like, oh, some people still like this song. I cannot stop people from doing what they want to do, and I cannot stop myself as well. I used to be a soloist. I sing so many solos, duets, special numbers. And now, as they are coming to my mind, I created a playlist for my songs. So maybe you are struggling with life, with sleep, or anything, and any of those songs you want to listen to them, I have a soulful song playlist. Familiarize yourself with them. And I love for you to continue to come back. Thank you. Oh, Isheyi, thank you for being a part of this. I'm waving back to everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much. Let me type thank you. Oh, I truly appreciate you all. Thank you so much. You want us to continue? Oh, that's nice. Tell me more about that trip. Oh, Miss Bobo. Yeah, it was part of our healing trip. So, as family, we just went to Niagara Falls. Oh my God, I didn't want to come back. I didn't want to come back. I didn't want to come back. It was like I should just stay there for the rest of life. I like the sound of the water, and at night it was so beautiful with the lights. It was beautiful. So, yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for being a part of this tonight. Remember, David dance so we can dance. David dance so we can dance. David danced so we are allowed to dance. Yeah, see you next time. I stayed because I still see you commenting. I don't want to just end on you. Thank you so much. Thank you, and I'm going to end now. Have a blessed week. See you again.